This interactive oral is an introduction to the film version of Persepolis. Just some background information. The film was released on the 27th of June 2007 in France and in Belgium, starting with its first screening at the Cannes International Film Festival. It was released in English in the United States on the 25th of December 2007. So, Persepolis is the biography of Marjane Satrapi, told in the form of a comic book. The movie closely mirrors this, keeping to the original cartoon style, and Satrapi mentions how this was often a problem during the animation. As she drew all the characters the first time, it was overwhelming to see them animated, and she learned to put some distance between herself and the characters, because, as she stated, "If I think, this is my grandmother and my story, I would start crying all the time." Of course, Satrapi knew that movies are never as good as the book, so when pressured to make her story into a movie by an acquaintance, Marc-Antoine Robert, she agreed under the condition that she directed in black and white and Catherine Deneuve was to play her mother. Catherine Deneuve is one of the greatest French movie stars, and she did indeed voice Satrapi's mother in the original French and in the English dub. Miss Satrapi teamed up with Vincent Perrinaud, a fellow comic book author who had made a few short films of his own. He co-wrote and co-directed the film, and he brought a fresh perspective on the book. He and Satrapi worked together to present the information from the book in a different manner to keep things interesting. These two pictures show Marjane Satrapi with Vincent Perrinaud. Perrinaud helped broaden the scope of the film and introduced new ideas to Satrapi's comic. For example, adding shades of gray to the drawings to add depth to the frames, like in this city landscape drawing. So here are some questions to be thinking about. Do you think that adding the extra shading took away from Satrapi's original message? To what extent does the director have the liberties to change the tone or style of the story he is making into a movie? Despite these changes, Satrapi worked very hard to ensure that the film retained its deep personal meaning. The film's art and technical director, Marc Jusseau, stated during the production that Marjane is here every day. She implicates herself in every decision, and even if she has never done an animation sequence, she has given us courses in things like how the headscarf is worn at home versus on the streets in Iran, things that are important for the rigor of the story. The chief animator, Christian Demars, said, Marjane wanted to really personalize each character, to use precise Iranian gestures, and we didn't know how to do that. I have a short clip from the original movie, but here are some questions to consider while watching it. By essence of its comic book/cartoon nature, do you think that Satrapi does distort the, quote, precise Iranian gestures that Demars speaks of? How can the two, namely precision and exaggerated motion, coexist?
Et toi, c'est quoi cette tenue?
C'est quoi ces chaussures de punk?
Quelles chaussures de punk?
Ça là.
Mais c'est des baskets. Cette forme, c'est punk. C'est parce que je fais du basket au club de mon école.
Et cette veste, c'est pour faire du basket aussi.
Ça, qu'est-ce que c'est? Michael Jackson?
Ce symbole de la décadence occidentale.
Mais pas du tout, madame. C'est Malcolm X. Tu te fous de moi? C'est Michael.
So now let's talk about how the film was received. The film was received extraordinarily well. It won the jury prize at Le Festival du Film de Cannes, or the Cannes International Film Festival, in 2007. The film was also nominated for the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature, but lost to Ratatouille. On Rotten Tomatoes, 96% of critics gave the film positive reviews based on 145 reviews, and in 2010 it was ranked number 58 on Empire Magazine's The 100 Best Films of World Cinema. Even Satrapi herself stated, "It is hard for me, for my ego, to say this. For me, the movie is better than the book." Wow, that's a shocking revelation given her stance before the movie process. So here are some questions on that topic. What qualities of movies make them better than books? Why do you think Satrapi changed her mind from her pre-production ideas on the film of her books? Other people also commented on the story and the movie. Chiara Mastroianni, the voice of Margie as a teenager and young adult, auditioned because she loved all four of the Persepolis novels. She calls them a combination of design, humor, hindsight, and self-mockery, with no trace of indulgence and victimization, saying that these qualities made the production irresistible. Richard Mao writes in the magazine Box Office that Persepolis raises the bar for animation and illustrates the true power of storytelling in illuminating the world and its conflicts. Louis Beale writes in Film Journal International that the film is practically an epic tale. What really makes it work is not just Satrapi's brutal honesty, but her simple, highly evocative drawing style. This stark palette is particularly effective during sequences of war and brutality, but every scene is suffused with a highly original graphic sense. Satrapi's story is the best of all possible worlds, an intimate tale set against a broad historical canvas, told in an engaging artistic manner. And there are many more such glowing reviews. However, on the other side of the scales are negative responses to the film and the story. Chicago authorities, citing graphic language and images, banned the book from schools. Teachers protested, calling the ban an outrage, saying the only place we've heard of this story being banned is in Iran. Iranian officials issued a protest to the French embassy in Tehran over the screening of Persepolis at the Cannes International Film Festival, saying that the selection of Persepolis was a political or even anti-cultural act on the part of the festival. Ouch. Iranian influence spread to other countries as well. The director of the Bangkok International Film Festival agreed to remove the movie from the festival's showings after he was invited by the Iranian embassy to discuss the matter, and they both came to the mutual agreement that it would be beneficial to both countries if the film was not shown. Similarly, the film was banned in Lebanon, whose government cited the movie as offensive to Iran and Islam, but the ban was lifted soon after it set off an outcry in Lebanese intellectual and political circles, who saw the move as outrageous. The movie was released in Lebanon almost a year after its original release in France. Here is a question about the negative reception. This may seem simple, but why do you think that the Iranian government views the movie, and the book for that matter, as an insult to their culture? So here's my works cited page in case you want to have a look at it. And here are the discussion questions. This has been a Denaya Gurupulu production. Thank you for watching.